Initiation rituals are at the heart of African spiritual practices, marking a sacred passage between childhood and adulthood, or from one spiritual phase to the next. These rituals, deeply ingrained in many African cultures, symbolize more than just physical growth. They represent a deep spiritual transformation and a shift in identity. From the Yoruba of West Africa to the Maasai of East Africa, initiation is the means by which individuals are formally inducted into the responsibilities, values, and duties of adulthood, guided by the divine forces of gods and ancestors. In Africa, the significance of initiation extends beyond personal development. It is a communal event that bonds families and villages together. The entire community plays a role in the rituals, offering support, wisdom, and blessings. These ceremonies are not merely symbolic rites. They represent a deep connection to the spiritual world, where the living communicate with the ancestors and invoke the blessings of gods for protection and guidance. As we journey through the different cultures and ceremonies, we will see that although the specifics may vary, the essence of these rites remains universal. Each initiation ceremony is a reflection of the culture's spiritual beliefs, their respect for ancestors, and their reliance on the divine to guide them through the transitions of life. But what happens during these powerful ceremonies? What is the role of the gods and ancestors in these rites, and how do these sacred practices shape the lives of those who undergo them? Let's delve into the sacred rituals that mark these profound moments in African societies. The Yoruba people, one of the largest ethnic groups in West Africa, have a rich tradition of initiation rituals that mark the passage from childhood to adulthood. These rites of passage, particularly the Gibo and Omoid, hold deep spiritual significance. These ceremonies are not just about physical transformation, they are about spiritual elevation, cultural responsibility, and the connection between the living and their ancestors. For the Yoruba, initiation is a sacred act that prepares the individual for the challenges of life, while also ensuring their alignment with divine forces. The Yoruba belief system centers on a powerful pantheon of gods known as Orisha, and the spiritual guidance provided by ancestors. During initiation, individuals are introduced to these gods and the principles that guide Yoruba spirituality. The Dibia, or spiritual leader, plays a crucial role in these ceremonies, offering insights from the Ifa divination system and invoking the blessings of Orunmila, the deity of wisdom and divination. The rituals are often conducted at shrines dedicated to specific orishas, where the initiate is cleansed, blessed, and prepared for their spiritual journey into adulthood. For the Yoruba, the Gibo ceremony is one of the most significant rites of passage. It is a formalized introduction to adulthood, marking the individual's readiness to take on societal responsibilities. During this ceremony, the initiate undergoes various rituals that test their strength, wisdom, and character. They receive teachings on Yoruba traditions, family duties, and the sacredness of life, preparing them to become active, contributing members of the community. One of the most powerful aspects of the Yoruba initiation process is the connection to the ancestors. The spirits of those who have passed are called upon during the ceremony, as they are believed to provide guidance and protection. The initiate is expected to honor their ancestors through prayers, sacrifices, and offerings. By doing so, they ensure that the wisdom of the past is carried forward, strengthening the community's spiritual foundation. In modern times, the Yoruba initiation rituals continue to hold a sacred place in the hearts of many. While some aspects of the ceremonies have adapted to contemporary life, the core spiritual principles remain unchanged. The Yoruba people's deep respect for their gods and ancestors ensures that these initiation ceremonies are not simply cultural relics, but living practices that continue to shape the identity of the young and connect them to the divine forces that govern their lives. The Maasai people, renowned for their warrior culture, have one of the most sacred and well-known initiation rituals in Africa. This rite of passage, marking the transition from childhood to adulthood, is centered on the development of courage, strength, and spiritual readiness. For the Maasai, becoming a warrior is a deeply spiritual journey that connects the initiate with their ancestors and the divine forces of the Maasai gods. The transition is not just physical, it is a profound spiritual awakening that alters the individual's identity. One of the key aspects of the Maasai initiation ceremony is circumcision, a practice that symbolizes the shedding of childhood and the embracing of adulthood. The ritual is deeply rooted in Maasai spirituality, as circumcision is seen as a purification process, aligning the individual with the Maasai gods, ancestors, and the spiritual forces of the land. During this ritual, initiates are taught the responsibilities of adulthood, including protection of the community, respect for tradition, and the importance of unity within the tribe. Throughout the ceremony, the Maasai elder, or Oloban, plays a central role in guiding the initiate through prayers, rituals, and the invocation of the gods. These spiritual leaders are considered to have direct access to the divine realm and are responsible for ensuring the initiate's spiritual well-being. The elders impart wisdom about Maasai gods such as Nkai, the god of creation, who is believed to provide life and protection for the people. The initiate's journey is seen as one of divine protection and spiritual elevation. The Maasai also believe that ancestral spirits play an integral role in the initiation process. The spirits of past warriors are invoked during the ceremony, providing guidance and ensuring that the initiate is prepared to carry the weight of their new role. The community comes together to support the individual, with family members and fellow villagers celebrating their successful transition into adulthood with music, dance, and feasts. At the heart of the Maasai initiation ritual is the concept of community, as the individual's transformation is viewed as a service to the greater good. The newly initiated warrior is expected to protect the tribe, uphold Maasai values, and continue the legacy of their ancestors. This sense of duty to the community is instilled from the moment of initiation, reinforcing the collective bond between the individual and the tribe. Today, while some aspects of the Maasai initiation ritual have evolved, the core values of bravery, spiritual guidance, and community remain intact. The rites of passage continue to be a vital aspect of Maasai culture, ensuring that each generation is spiritually connected to their ancestors and the divine forces that have shaped their people. For the Zulu people of South Africa, initiation rituals are a vital cultural practice that marks the transition from childhood to adulthood, signifying spiritual maturity and readiness to contribute to the community. These ceremonies are deeply spiritual, intertwined with the veneration of ancestors and a deep connection to the gods. Zulu initiation ceremonies focus on instilling respect, discipline, and a sense of responsibility, ensuring that the initiate is spiritually prepared for adulthood. The most significant Zulu initiation is known as Umemulo, a ceremony that celebrates a young woman's passage into adulthood. During this ritual, the initiate is cleansed, physically prepared, and taught the duties of womanhood within Zulu culture. The ceremony is often accompanied by music, dancing, and prayers, invoking the blessings of ancestors and the spiritual forces. For men, the initiation involves a similar process where they are taught the responsibilities of strength, leadership, and guardianship. The Zulu gods, specifically Unkulunkulu, the creator, play a crucial role in these rituals. The elders, acting as spiritual guides, offer prayers to these deities to ensure that the initiates are blessed with wisdom, health, and prosperity as they enter adulthood. The spirits of ancestors are invoked to provide protection and guidance throughout the transition. The Zulu believe that ancestors are not only present during the ceremonies but continue to watch over their descendants in their daily lives. A key component of Zulu initiation is the communal aspect. It is not just the individual being initiated, but the entire community that participates in the process. Elders lead the rituals, reinforcing the bonds between generations and passing down cultural knowledge. The initiate is then accepted into the community as an adult, responsible for upholding the cultural values and beliefs of the Zulu people. The event is seen as a rite of passage that strengthens the community as a whole. While the initiation rituals have evolved over time, with influences from Christianity and modern society, their core spiritual and cultural significance remains unchanged. The rituals are still practiced, particularly in rural Zulu communities, where they provide a vital connection to the past, honor the ancestors, and foster spiritual unity. In contemporary Zulu culture, initiation is viewed as an important cultural rite that bridges the gap between tradition and modernity, ensuring that Zulu identity remains strong. Zulu initiation rituals continue to hold a special place in the hearts of the people. They not only mark a critical transition in life but also serve to strengthen cultural identity, community ties, and spiritual beliefs. Despite the challenges posed by modernization, the power of these sacred ceremonies remains a vital force in preserving the Zulu way of life. Across Africa, initiation ceremonies share key elements that bind them together, even as each culture adds its own unique practices. At their core, these rites of passage are deeply spiritual, marking the transition from childhood to adulthood and establishing a connection between the living and the ancestral realm. While each culture may differ in its specific rituals, the common themes of transformation, ancestral veneration, and communal involvement persist. One of the most prominent themes is the connection to ancestors. In many African cultures, ancestors are invoked during initiation ceremonies to provide guidance, protection, and blessings. Initiates are reminded that they are not only marking a personal transition but also continuing a legacy. The spirits of those who came before are seen as active forces in the lives of their descendants, and through these ceremonies, the living maintain their spiritual bond with the past. Another shared element is the spiritual transformation of the initiate. Initiation is viewed as a spiritual rebirth, where the individual undergoes physical and psychological changes. In traditions such as the Yoruba and Maasai, initiates often undergo purification rituals, such as circumcision or sacred bathing, which symbolize the shedding of childhood and the embracing of a new identity. These rites are believed to spiritually elevate the individual, preparing them for their responsibilities as an adult. The importance of the community is also evident across African initiation rituals. Initiation is rarely a solitary act, it is a communal event in which the entire family and community participate. Elders play a crucial role in guiding the initiates, imparting wisdom, and ensuring the proper observance of traditions. This communal involvement reinforces the idea that the individual's spiritual growth is inextricably linked to the collective well-being of the community. Initiates are expected to contribute to the community, and their transformation is a shared experience that strengthens social bonds. A key theme is the rite of passage, where the transition to adulthood is symbolized through various rites. The Maasai, for example, celebrate the transition from boyhood to warrior status through circumcision and other rituals. Similarly, the Zulu initiate's spiritual journey through Umemulo symbolizes their readiness to fulfill adult roles in society. These rites mark a definitive moment in life, where the individual is recognized as capable of handling the responsibilities and challenges of adulthood. Lastly, respect for tradition is integral to all African initiation ceremonies. These rituals are deeply rooted in cultural practices that have been passed down through generations. While some ceremonies have evolved in response to modern influences, the core purpose remains the same: to honor the divine, maintain ancestral connections, and ensure that cultural wisdom continues to shape future generations. Initiation ceremonies, therefore, serve as vital links between past, present, and future, preserving the integrity of cultural identity. While initiation rituals have long been central to African cultures, modern challenges, such as globalization, urbanization, and the spread of Christianity and Islam, have inevitably shaped these ancient rites. In many African societies, these rituals have adapted, blending traditional customs with contemporary practices while still retaining their spiritual and cultural significance. The balance between preserving age-old traditions and adapting to the modern world has led to evolving forms of initiation, especially in urban areas. In rural communities, where traditional practices remain strong, initiation rituals continue much as they have for centuries. In places like Maasai villages, the sacred rites of passage still mark the transition from childhood to adulthood with minimal changes. Elders continue to preside over these ceremonies, invoking the gods and ancestors to bless the initiates, and the community comes together to celebrate the event. Despite modernization, these rural practices offer a way to keep cultural values intact and pass them on to the next generation. In contrast, in urban settings and among the younger generations, these ceremonies have undergone significant transformation. Many African youth, influenced by modern education and foreign religions, are less inclined to participate in traditional rites. As a result, some communities have adapted initiation ceremonies to incorporate modern elements, such as urban festivals or educational milestones, while still attempting to honor the spiritual core of the rites. For example, Yoruba initiations may now be simplified and held on a smaller scale in urban centers, while still invoking ancestral spirits and performing prayers. Religion plays a significant role in the evolution of African initiation rituals. Christianity and Islam have influenced the way many African societies view traditional spiritual practices, including initiation. In some cases, young people participate in Christian or Muslim rites of passage rather than the traditional ceremonies. However, many communities have found ways to integrate Christian or Islamic beliefs with ancestral worship, resulting in hybrid ceremonies that honor both religious traditions and African spirituality. The global African diaspora also plays a key role in the evolution of initiation rituals. In countries like the United States and Brazil, African-descended communities have maintained, adapted, and even revived their traditional practices through religious systems like Santeria, Candomblé, and Vodou. These spiritual systems, which are rooted in African traditions, continue to honor ancestral connections and deities, offering a space for African initiation ceremonies to thrive outside the African continent. Despite these adaptations, the essence of African initiation rituals remains largely intact. They still serve to connect individuals with their cultural and spiritual heritage, reinforcing a sense of identity, community, and belonging. As African societies continue to evolve, initiation rituals will likely continue to adapt, but their deep spiritual and cultural significance will remain central to the lives of many. African initiation ceremonies have long held a sacred place in the spiritual, social, and cultural fabric of the continent. From the Maasai warriors of East Africa to the Zulu men and women of Southern Africa, these rites of passage serve as a vital link between the living and the spiritual world. They mark not just the transition from childhood to adulthood, but a deeper, transformative journey that connects individuals to their ancestors, gods, and community. These rituals are more than cultural traditions, they are the foundation of identity, values, and social cohesion. While these ceremonies have evolved over time, adapting to modern influences such as urbanization, globalization, and the spread of world religions, their core purpose remains unchanged. Initiation is still seen as a profound spiritual milestone, one that carries the weight of ancestral wisdom and cultural responsibility. The connection to the past through ancestral worship, the invocation of gods, and the spiritual guidance offered by elders continue to play a critical role in these rituals, ensuring the continuity of traditions for future generations. In today's world, the challenge lies in balancing the preservation of these sacred rituals with the realities of modern life. As younger generations are exposed to more globalized ideas and foreign religious practices, the participation in traditional initiation ceremonies has declined in some areas. Yet, in the face of these challenges, many African communities, especially in rural areas, have found ways to adapt while retaining the spiritual essence of initiation rites. Even in urban settings, there are efforts to revive and celebrate these practices through festivals, gatherings, and spiritual groups. One of the most profound aspects of African initiation ceremonies is the communal aspect. These rites are not just about individual transformation. They are a shared experience that strengthens the bonds within communities. Initiation rituals reaffirm cultural values, promote unity, and create a sense of belonging. They ensure that every initiate understands their role in the collective, reinforcing the idea that spiritual growth is inextricably tied to communal well-being. As African societies continue to change, the evolution of initiation rituals reflects the resilience and adaptability of African culture. The fusion of traditional practices with contemporary influences is a testament to the enduring relevance of these ceremonies. Though they may take on new forms, the deep spiritual connection and the value of community in African initiation ceremonies remain ever present. In conclusion, the enduring power of African initiation ceremonies lies in their ability to transcend time and circumstance. These sacred rites, rooted in the reverence for ancestors, respect for the divine, and commitment to community, continue to shape the lives of those who undergo them. As Africa moves forward, these rituals will undoubtedly continue to evolve, ensuring that future generations remain connected to the profound spiritual legacy of their ancestors. The sacred initiation ceremonies explored today are more than just rites of passage. They are powerful spiritual traditions that connect generations, honor ancestors, and shape the very fabric of African culture. These rites transcend time, maintaining their relevance even in the modern world by adapting while preserving their deep spiritual essence. As we've seen, they continue to play a crucial role in shaping identity, building community, and connecting the living to the divine forces that guide them. If you found this exploration of African initiation rituals insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content on African culture, spirituality, and traditions. Join us as we continue to uncover the fascinating stories and practices that connect us to our shared human heritage. Stay connected, stay curious, and let's keep exploring together.